Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs. Hey, listen, this is gun cleaning day. The only problem is the person that actually dirtied up these guns hasn't shown up. And if she expects to ever shoot any of these guns again, she best be here, because she's running about 45 minutes late, and that's just a little bit pissing me off. Anyway, that's not what this video is going to be about. Listen, for the last several months, people have asked me a lot what my thoughts were on the George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin situation. And for the most part, with the exception of a few of you that I've spoke to personally on the phone about this, I've kept my opinions to myself. And the reason why is because I truly believe in my heart that what happens in today's world is wrong. And what I mean by that is when whether it's the media or the new media, which you are in, by the way, you are part of the new media. Okay, you're making YouTube videos about any of these issues, you're in the new media. But in today's world, in the media, too often, people are being either convicted or exonerated basically in the realm of public opinion. And that to me, in the court of public opinion, and that to me is wrong on so many levels. It's just wrong. You know, I watched what the news media, the left-wing, especially news media, has done to George Zimmerman, and it's criminal. Absolutely criminal. I mean, even last night after the verdict came in, all these so-called professional journalists were doing nothing but stoking the flames, and we're, the whole righteous indignation of the whole thing is just, they just couldn't believe that there was no justice. What? So anyway, for me, for my own personal sake, I for the most part decided to boycott giving my opinion until it was all done and said. So I've got a lot of things to say. One of the things that I'm going to say, which will have to be a completely separate video because I need to come down a notch or two in my pissed offness. Because what I watched our president do yet again was run his suck without the proper information, race bait, stir the flames of racism. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. Are you serious? I mean, really? So, and listen, and don't get me started on the media, and they're showing his 14-year-old photo of him looking like he just came back from a Boy Scout meeting, when if you happen to watch the alternative news to the left-wing nonsense, you would have seen more recent photos of this angel all tatted up. And I'm not saying people with ink are bad, but I'm just saying he didn't exactly look like this pure as the driven snow image that MSNBC, CBS, NBC had all been trying to portray. He looked a little more thuggish in more recent photos. And we didn't even get to hear about things like he'd been kicked out of school twice, yada, yada, yada. Now, having said all that, that's not what this video is about either. Whether it's the president, whether it's Trayvon Martin, whether it's the media, none of that's what this video is about. Okay? I want to make this video about why you kill, why you shoot to kill. Now, listen, going forward from this point on, I want everybody to assume that I'm talking about somebody that has a justifiable right to kill somebody. Okay, and yes, that does exist. Absolutely it does exist. If you are defending your life, you can use lethal means to do so. Okay, so going forward, let's assume when I'm talking about why you kill somebody, you literally have every right in the world to kill that person. Okay, now some of the stuff that I'm going to say might be a little jacked up. Yeah, I'm a little jacked up myself, so it's just the way I roll, okay? But listen, I've heard my entire life people say stupid-ass things like, well, you don't have to shoot him in the kneecap, or just wing him. There's reasons why you don't do that. Number one, the most important, listen, if you take nothing else away from this Trayvon Martin situation, if you take nothing else away from the Zimmerman trial, you should take this away. There should only be one version of events. That's right. One version of events. The other version of events that are trying to be, that are being thrown to the jury are speculation or guess. Bottom line, the only version that needs to be told, eyewitness version, needs to be told is yours. Period. Okay? And the only way to ensure that is if that person that you shot is dead and is not capable of telling his side of the story. Period. Now, I know some people are like, whoa, man, that's what? What? Yes, no, I'm telling you right now, listen. I want you to think about what went on with Zimmerman. Whether you believe that he was justified or not justified, put that on the side shelf. Put it up on the shelf, okay? And just look at what actually transpired in the media, along with what the most powerful man in the free world had to say about it, literally. And by the way, and as you all pretty much know, it may not even be over. I can see the Justice Department getting involved in this, and George Zimmerman getting charged with violating Trayvon Martin's civil rights. Okay, bottom line, the media literally forced the prosecutor's hand on this. I don't think under any other circumstances. Well, let's say, for example, that Trayvon Martin was Trevor Martin and he was a white kid. Okay, I do not think in a million years that the prosecutor would have brought charges, period. No matter what that prosecutor tries to say, she would not have brought charges. I don't know that a judge would have taken the case. Okay, but because Trayvon Martin was black, because the left-wing media, the liberal media was trying to make it a racial issue, because they, if it leaves, it bleeds, and they were trying to push this to the limits, and because the President of the United States, nut job that he is, decided to get himself involved with it, I mean, the guy just doesn't learn. Well, like I said, that's all. I wonder if he's going to have a beer summit now that Zimmerman's been acquitted. Now he's going to tell Holder to go ahead and charge what's going to happen. So, here's the thing. If you watch what happened, literally Zimmerman, who we're going to assume, from this point, he was found innocent. We are going to assume that he had the right to defend himself, and under Florida law, he was in the right, okay? Irregardless if he was in the right or not, the media was going to push this situation to the max. So, now, having said that, they were trying like hell to convict Zimmerman in the court of public opinion. That's exactly what they were trying to do, which was what I didn't want to take part in one way or the other, okay? Although I was tempted to try to be a counterbalance, and there were a lot of people who I know that's what they were trying to accomplish, and I get that. I just didn't want to take part in that. So, listen, you're an innocent person, somebody attacks you, you fear for your life, you pull your gun, you kill them. Every single time. You kill them. You don't shoot their kneecap. You don't try to just shoot them in the shoulder. You don't do any of that nonsense. When you buy self-defense rounds for your gun, for your weapon, when you buy self-defense rounds, you buy man killers. You buy the most advanced, technologically advanced bullet on the market. Something that has a proven stopping power and lethality. Something that will open up a wound channel that will make that son of a bitch bleed quicker than shit. That's what you buy. You don't buy ball ammo. If you're running around trying to defend yourself with ball ammo, you should just shoot yourself. Well, I probably shouldn't have said that. Well, no, I don't really care. If you're that stupid, cleanse the gene pool of your dumb ass. So, anyway, no, listen, when it comes right down to it, if you have to shoot somebody, there really only needs to be one story told, period. Because even if bottom line, can you imagine, let's just say that Trayvon Martin would not have been killed. Let's just, for shits and grins, say that he lived for 36 hours. And during that 36 hours, the police managed to get in there and get some bullshit statement from him. Well, maybe it even wasn't bullshit, whatever. Get some statement from him telling his version of the story. And his version of the story completely different. And the jury got to see that videotape testimony of then becomes a dead kid. Okay, let's say 36 hours later he's now deceased. Do you think for a second, irregardless of the real truth, that the jury would have been able to listen to a 17-year-old talk about how he was victimized by this old guy and he was defending himself? All he had was a bag of Skittles. If I got to hear that one more time, I'm going to start vomiting. Okay, you think for a second that those 6 women on that jury would have went ahead and acquitted Zimmerman? I don't know. It would have been tough, and I would not have wanted to be in Zimmerman's chair if that was the case, because as it was, he had it pretty rough. Bottom line, jury was coming back asking questions about manslaughter and this and that. That could not have made the defense attorneys very happy when they started hearing that stuff. So here's the thing. My dad used to tell me, I'll tell you a quick story. My dad, an old hillbilly, he used to tell me that if he had to shoot somebody, and let's say he shot him in the front yard, let's say a guy attacked him in the front yard, shot him in the front yard, that used to be a big thing back then. He told me he'd drag him in the house. You know, if he didn't have a gun on him, put a knife in his hand, you know. I mean, and as cheesy as that sounds, there are situations where you may have a weapon, and in this case, exactly that. Zimmerman had a gun and Trayvon Martin did not. Trayvon Martin's weapon was the concrete and was his youth and strength, you know. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, my dad, the old hillbilly, was a smart guy. You know, drag him in. He used to tell me all the time, I'd say, while the dudes bleed, I'm going to light a cigarette and smoke it. And then I'll call for an ambulance or call the police. I don't think there was 911 back then. Maybe there was, you know. But I mean, these are things that you have to think about, literally. This is why, by the way, you absolutely must, beyond a doubt, shoot to kill. If you're going to shoot somebody, shoot to kill. Period. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people right now that are like, yo, man, you're a dumb. What the hell are you talking about? You sorry, crazy mother. Yeah, well, you know what? Say what you want. But I can promise you this. If I'm ever put in a situation where I have to defend my life, there will only be one version of events that come out of it. And it will be mine. Period. So, anyway, while everybody else is talking about, you know, whether or not the jury verdict was just, or was not just, this, that, I'm just throwing out some common sense stuff. I am just putting out some common sense stuff. If it takes an extra round, you know, what's the old mob saying, 3 in the head, you know they're dead? You know. You know. Anyway, that's all I got. Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm as crazy as a shithouse bat. And, you know, young Miss Blade is still not here. And I'm going to tell you, mark my words, if she's not here to clean these guns, she will not be shooting them again. That's just the way it is. So anyway, everybody take care. See ya!